That much?
How?
Sorry. I got lost in thought. I owe you my thanks as well as reward for getting me the document. And maybe another little job? What do you say?
Don't tell me you've forgotten. I need to get to that wedding in Semin.
Don't worry. Your path is leading that way. Only it'll be a little longer than expected.
Another miller's trick. Why doesn't that surprise me?
Now, there's no trick. I promised I'd get you into that wedding. You'll just have to put in a bit more effort first. Besides, things are about to get really interesting. Step by step, we're moving closer to the great revelation.
Enough. I'm sick of listening to your cryptic blabbering. Supposing you first initiate me into the mysteries of your enchanting mill. This isn't any run-of-the-mill business, so to speak. I smell something devilish here.
Devilish? Not at all. It's high learning. Alchemy! And when I say alchemy, I mean real alchemy. Not some hocus-pocus brewing of potions for creaky joints and bellyache.
Tell me more about it, then. Maybe I'll learn something useful.
I wouldn't be so sure. But I've taken you on as an apprentice, so I might as well tell you something. Now, pay close attention. I want to make a golem out of dough. Then, using secret alchemical practices and theurgy, bring him to life.
A golem? What's that?
A golem is a helper brought to life using divine words. A living statue endowed with massive strength. Can be made of clay, wood, stone, basically anything. I'll make one out of flour. Studying the Jewish Kabbals taught me a practice known as Maseh Bereshit. A mystic can use it to imitate the work of God. Just imagine. You know how helpful a golem would be at the mill? Carrying sacks, pulling wagons, standing guard. He wouldn't be much smarter than Zinnik, but he'd have the strength of 10 men.
My word. That sounds incredible. I have to see it.
So far, it's just all in my head. But if you're patient and help me, you'll see soon enough. It's in the interest of the advancement and prosperity of mankind. Just look at the Bible. Moses could command the waters and speak to God through the element of fire. And Jesus brought the dead back to life. I've no doubt that if our great Holy Mother Church had been around at the time, they'd have crucified Jesus the same as the Pharisees. All the apostles would have been burned at the stake.
So a golem, you say, made of flour? For the good of mankind?
Exactly!
And what about the good of me? You promised me a reward.
You already know that you can learn the practical application of certain useful skills from me. But I could discuss the art on a more, let's say, theoretical level.
I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. Supposing you give me a few groschen first, as a reward for bringing you the document, and then I'll decide whether to trade the coin for some learning.
Oh, see now? I completely forgot. Here you go. So you don't go around saying that Miller Crazel is a pinch purse. I added in what I owe for those sacks you carried. And if you want some more work, there's plenty.
What's this next job all about?
I need to find a saltpeter pit.
Never a wasted word, eh, Crazel?
Short and to the point. That's my credo.
And how long will it take before you tell me what a saltpeter pit is?
A saltpeter pit is a pit in which saltpeter is formed.
This has something to do with that alchemy of yours, eh? I don't know much about that stuff.
Nitra is saltpeter. White crystals similar to salt.
And what needs salting here in the mill? Or is it supposed to be some peculiar Crazel wedding gift for a young Semine?
Nothing of the sort. The Kabbalistic doctrine speaks of saltpeter as a vessel for the inexhaustible essence of life. Those white crystals are said to contain the very essence of being. That's precisely what we need to give life to our golem. Thanks to the ingredients from Hermes Trismegistos, his feet will never get tired, and his fists will have the power to smash rocks. But saltpeter is the most important thing. Saltpeter will be the golem's heart.
So you're serious about this golem? And are you certain it'll work out?
Certainly. Otherwise, I wouldn't even try.
How much saltpeter will it take to bring to life such a big creature?
A lot. That's why I want you to find me a decent saltpeter pit. Do you understand?
I was hoping I'd learn something useful from you. But instead, you're making me wander around the countryside looking for some pit.
Well, you never know when an experience like that might come in handy.
All right, then. I'll look around for that saltpeter pit of yours. I just hope you know where to look, that you can point me in the right direction, and also that you'll get me into that wedding as a reward.
Yes, yes, and yes. Bonnie has a lead. She's a damned handy girl to have around. She can do anything you ask of her. But for you, the most important thing is that she knows how to look for niter, or saltpeter if you prefer.
So this Bonnie is some kind of witch who's in on this golem stuff.
Bonnie is someone I trust without question, and you should too. Not only will she teach you how to find saltpeter, but also how to differentiate it from common salt. The main difference is it has kind of cooling taste.
Hold your horses. You want me to taste that nasty stuff?
If you don't taste it, you could confuse it with some nasty rot. You don't want that.
Damn right.
Don't be such a lily-liver, Henry. If Bonnie can taste saltpeter, so can you. She'll tell you the rest herself. You'll find her in the lair. That's a secret storage space I have here just by the pond. Only my best people can get in.
How can I get to this lair?
There's a bridge over the mill stream towards the southwest. Take the path to the left, just behind it along the pond. From that path, you turn right, uphill, between the rocks, and you'll find yourself right in front of the lair. You can't miss it. Oh, and so I don't forget. You could pick some herbs along the way to see Bonnie. It would make her very happy. She's just been through some tough times. Her dog died, and on top of that, she has to spend time with that blabbermouth, Zinnik. On the other hand, Zinnik might be holding his tongue for a while after his encounter with the Troskowitz stocks.
If Bonnie spends time with Zinnik, she may want some spirits rather than herbs.
Bonnie? Never. Being a decent Christian, she avoids alcohol like the plague. Right along, so you're back as soon as possible.
To the lair. You seem like a reasonably educated man, Crazel.
Where are you going with this?
Well, I reckon you know some interesting and useful things. If you share them with me, it'll make it easier to endure all that bullshit you spew.
I'm glad you know what you're getting yourself into. Are you interested in the theory of light, kinetics, or vacuums?
That's a bit too fast for me. What I need is the basics.
I have no time for the basics.
Well, I'll be happy to give you some groschen for your troubles.
All right. But don't forget, this will take some time. Throw in a few coins and I'll teach you whatever you want.
Show me your wares.
Praise God.
Would you know of any other way to make some extra money?
The only thing you can do in this backwater is steal cabbages. But go and ask those woodcutters on the opposite hill. You might find something more interesting there.
Why the woodcutters?
Just think about it. They've been cutting timber in the middle of nowhere for a pretty long time. and they get paid for every wagon they unload at the sawmill. They work all day long and don't move an inch. They have nothing to spend their money on.
I think I know what you're getting at.
All their earnings must be hidden somewhere in their camp. And it must be a lot of money.
I like the way you think. I reckon I'll pay them a visit.
But if you're stupid enough to get caught, don't say a word about me putting you up to it. You hear? First, I'd lose my job, and then they'd beat me to a pulp.
Don't you worry. Would you know of any other way to make some extra money?
The only thing you can do in this backwater is steal cabbages. But go and ask those woodcutters on the opposite hill. You might find something more interesting there.
Why the woodcutters?
Just think about it. They've been cutting timber in the middle of nowhere for a pretty long time. And they get paid for every wagon they unload at the sawmill. They work all day long and don't move an inch. They have nothing to spend their money on.
I think I know what you're getting at.
All their earnings must be hidden somewhere in their camp. And it must be a lot of money.
What does Crazel say about that?
He said it would be obvious it was one of us. After all, they can see right into our backyard from their camp. But you're not from around here. You might get away with it.
God!
Whoa!
If you have anything to sell in return, we have some nice wares to sell here. My.
Whoa!
Hail Mary!
you barking at? Huh? What brings you here?
I heard something. Get out! What are you doing here? I hope that mutt didn't bury anything here. I don't recall telling you to touch my...
You have a kind master, eh, doggy? You remember that sweet thing from Slaughtergirl?
Yeah, that's the 100th time you've asked today.
What is? Lord be with you.
I'm Henry, Miller Crazel's new apprentice. He sent me to search for a niter pit, and said you might be able to help me with that.
Of course I will. I'm Bonnie. Nice to meet you.
Bonnie? It's not a name I hear often.
It's not the name I was baptized with. In our craft, it ain't a good idea to tell people your real name. That's why we use nicknames. What should we call you?
The Wolf of Skalitz.
Well, that's not very creative. You know what? I'll come up with a nickname for you myself when I get to know you better. Did you bring me something from the mill?
Actually, Crazel said you'd appreciate some herbs.
He's right there. Do you have some for me?
I've got something here.
My word, that's exactly what I need. The ingredients for the magic ritual.
What kind of magic ritual?
The kind where Zenek finally gets some sense into his head and stops making stupid beginner's mistakes. Just so you know, that mess with the author of Hermes Trismegistos would never have happened to me. Not me. While we're on the subject of rituals, did Crazel tell you about the golem?
He did.
And what do you think of it?
I'm curious to see what a golem made of flour will look like. But I'm mostly curious to see if Crazel will really be able to breathe life into it with the help of saltpeter.
I'm more worried that as soon as it comes to life, it'll slay us all with one blow. So, if by some chance it looks like something's going wrong, you won't see my heels for dust. And I suggest you do the same. But that's enough of that. We're not going to stand here talking about flower golems when we've barely just met. I'd like to chat with you too, Henry. Get to know you a bit. But if you're in a hurry to find Crazel's saltpeter, I won't keep you.
No. I have plenty of time. But where to start?
You know what? I'll start. When they caught Zineg in Troskowitz, I was scared out of my mind that they'd catch me and clap me in the stocks. I had to hide out here for a while, so I haven't had anyone to talk to. Life in the lair isn't all fun and games. Zineg and all the other mill knuckleheads were never worth much as company. So I'm glad the miller's finally found a normal hand for once. You've got a beautiful dog. What's his name?
Mutt.
What a cute fella. How did you find each other?
He belonged to this girl I knew, Teresa. She saved my life in my hometown, Skalitz, when I went to bury my parents.
Well, That's what I call an interesting past. I used to have a dog, but I don't anymore.
He died.
He started getting these lumps all over his body. He stopped eating, just slept all the time. And then, well, what's done is done. And what about you? What kind of family are you from? Also, thieves?
No. Pa was a blacksmith. I inherited something from him, I hope.
Oh, really? Would you teach me how to make, maybe, barrel hoops?
Those are pretty hard. Wouldn't you rather start with, maybe nails?
Sure. I'm pretty quick to learn and patient. That is, with one exception. When Krazel starts spouting off his alchemy theories, I'd rather run for the hills. What do you think of the old miller, anyway?
I don't know what to say to that. I still don't know him all that well.
I understand. Best not to bite the hand that feeds you for no good reason. Thanks for talking to me. It really is good to have someone to pour my heart out to. But now, about that saltpeter. Before you came, and before Zineg fucked up with the manuscript, we collected saltpeter all over the place, mainly in sties. It has to be scraped from the walls. Horrible work, time-consuming and annoying. I'm not going to lie to you. We also looked in a few chests, just in case. You know. Anyhow, now all the sties in the region are scraped clean and we're sitting pretty on a nice barrel of saltpeter.
Barrel is quite a lot.
For the whole Trotsky region, aye. Unfortunately, Krazel said we need at least 6 times as much.
6 times? Will one saltpeter pit be enough?
I reckon so. There should be as much as Krazel needs for his masterwork. If you're looking for it, you ought to know how saltpeter forms. Do you have any idea?
Certainly. You take a damp wall, like in a sty, you let the water evaporate from it, and you get this salty bloom.
That's right. But like I told you, all the sty walls in the region are scraped clean and we can't wait. Don't forget that saltpeter crystals are formed in places where something is rotting. It can be shit or carcasses. Well, a saltpeter pit is actually nothing more than a mass grave. The best natural saltpeter maker.
Krazel said saltpeter is a vessel for life energy. I get it that it's left over from dead bodies, but how do you get it from shit?
God's mysterious ways. You know how it is.
And he also wanted me to taste it. That's nonsense, though, isn't it?
Unfortunately, it isn't. Otherwise, you won't know if it's saltpeter or some other shit. It feels kind of cold on the tongue.
Jesus. And you know where to look for such a pit full of carcasses, do you?
Not exactly, but I have an idea. Times are evil and there's plenty of corpses. A person who's digging holes and throwing dead bodies into them and doesn't even know he's got a a saltpeter mine.
You mean a knacker?
Exactly. And the one we have here in the region is also the gravedigger.
Ah, the gravedigger Ignatius. I've already met him. He lives outside Troskowitz in the direction of Apollonia, right?
Aye, that's him.
So I'm in for a walk to the cemetery.
Seems like it. Too bad you couldn't have walked around the county with us before. It was fun. And pretty useful experience. I learned a lot during that time, and I won't keep it to myself. I'd be happy to teach you something, if you want.
I'll keep that in mind.
That old gravedigger will be suspicious, so I'd bring him some kind of offering. He's always dragging those carcasses, so I'm sure he'd appreciate a slab of fresh meat from Troskowitz butcher.
Good idea.
He lives a short way from the cemetery, so at least the meat won't go bad on the way. Lots of luck, the Wolf of Skalitz.
Why do you work for the miller?
Because he pays well, and don't care how much coin I make on the side.
You mean by stealing?
And he doesn't ask any stupid questions.
What did you do before?
I got by any way I could. Believe it or not, I started in a convent.
You? A nun? Well, why not? I was in the cloisters myself for a while.
Oh well, different people have different fates. But we all ended up here anyway, in the armpit of the world.
What do you think about Crazel?
You're another one of those that don't know if they should love him or hate him, eh? Crazel is his own man. Once you learn to get along with him, you can't help but admire him a bit. But sometimes he's unbearable as soon as he opens his mouth.
What do you know about the Troskowitz gravedigger?
He's a pretty tough old bird. He follows the rule, I'll treat you the way you treat me. And he appreciates when a fella's direct and open. But I probably wouldn't tell him everything about us.
So, Bonnie, the most honest girl I know, sent me. I'd like to see some dead animals as models for painting a church fresco. A scene from the apocalypse.
That might be a bit much. But you learn fast.
How was the saltpeter collection and tasting again? Sounds pretty disgusting.
It wasn't so bad. Xena kept whining about it, but being a saltpeter collector, it has its benefits. When you go and clean someone's sty, they don't pay much attention to you and leave their purses and chests unattended. We made a pretty decent amount on the side.
What, by stealing?
Confiscating property for the greater glory of God. I hate the term stealing.
Just like Crazel. Tell me something more about Zinnek.
He's Andy, that's for sure. But also a bit of a fool. To be honest, I don't care for Crazel's horseshit most of the time either. I do this job because it's fun, unlike Zinnek. He does everything for his own good, doesn't give a damn about any greater cause or other people. Actually, he really pisses me off with his attitude. And he entertains himself by coming up with the stupidest nicknames for me. Dunga, for instance. What kind of a bloody awful name is Dunga?
Oh, lovely. And what does he call himself?
Scruffy. Or Jan, Nicholas, Franz, Peter, Jakub. The most bland, everyday names. He tries to be careful, but then he opens his big mouth and fucks it all up, just like in Troskowitz.
What is this lair place?
Crazel built a store so all them honest, curious people in the mill, the likes of Hensel, wouldn't have to worry their little heads about what we're doing here.
You mean behind that boarded-up door in the cliff?
We're definitely not doing anything there right now, because of the mess in there. I told Zenek to clean it up. I think he wants to see if the place will get so rotten that saltpeter will bloom on the walls.
I'd like to learn something.
And what would you like? God be with you.
What is it you need?
All right, and I was beginning to worry what that was.
Greetings, my friend.
Why do you work for the miller?
Well, how can I put it? Anywhere else, they'd have kicked me out by now. The miller's the last person who'd still give me a job. He says every idiot is of some use at least.
And you see that as a compliment?
I see a coin in my hand every week. That's all I care about.
What did you do before you started working for the miller?
A bit of this, a bit of that. When I was still a boy, I stirred lye at a tannery, and then I slaved away at a dye house. But since I came to the town, it's been, well, let's say not exactly honest work. But that's what I'm best at, see?
What do you think of Crazel?
Is this some kind of test or what? I can think what I want, and I keep my opinion to myself. And you ought to do the same.
Long time no see, eh?
Crazel gave you another job.
Yeah. I proved myself to him last time, so why not continue our collaboration?
Did you come here to make fun of me? Just like Bonnie? As soon as she showed up, she gave me hell over that manuscript.
No, not at all. I just need to find out something only you would know. What do you know about the gravedigger?
Not much to know. He's half gravedigger and half knacker. He takes care of both dead people and animals.
I'd never have figured that out without your help. Anything more interesting?
He's my father. And he's a wizard, same as me.
Yeah, right.
It's true. I was born the seventh son of a seventh son. I have the power of clairvoyance and I can raise the dead. I'm just hiding out with the miller until my time comes. I've been chosen to save the world.
Yeah, nice story. But if I'm going to get the miller some saltpeter, I need to know something useful.
Oh, aye. You're not much fun, are you? The gravedigger's as boring as you are. Also, he knows when he's being lied to, and he hates it. So don't even try it.
You see? That's the kind of thing I wanted to know. Was that so hard? So, Zinek, have you any experience with saltpeter?
Oh, I never want to see that shit again. I still have the taste of it in my mouth. And Bonnie and me was taking turns tasting it.
Weren't you afraid a dead soul would enter you through it?
What? What are you babbling about?
Dead souls pass time in niter crystals. don't they? That's why the miller is looking for them. To bring the golem to life.
You fool! We're looking for saltpeter to sell to butchers for salting meat. There's good coin in it.
Well, the miller told me something different.
You can't believe everything he says. A golem in the mill. He's yanking your pizzle.
You're all just trying to confuse me.
Crazel's a good teacher. You know how it is.
What can you tell me about Bonnie?
Well, you mean Cheeks or Jezebel?
Are those nicknames?
Dunger, Snowdrop, Vixen... We always come up with the stupidest names, and nobody sees through them anyway. Bonnie's been here the longest, and has the most experience. I'm surprised she still puts up with Crazel and his mad notions. And I think she likes animals more than people. When I try to talk to her about work or weather, she gets bored.
What sort of place is this?
Our secret place, where we can quietly plot sneaky plans for our beloved miller.
Behind that boarded-up door? What's inside that cliff?
You know, storage, rubbish, rats, filth. Look, I know Bonnie ordered me to clean up in there. Thanks to you, I'm sure the movement of goods will start again soon. So it'd probably be good to have some order around here. I just haven't got round to it yet.
Zinnek, I have a few questions about the saltpeter pit we're looking for.
So now you need me, eh?
Take care, friend.
Beginning to worry what that was. But it's just...
Katartal, what's up, Butch?
It happens. Just watch where you're going next time.
Hail Mary.
Sartu Kejal, Goro.
I hear you got a job for a blacksmith.
I'd say so. You have come just in time. You will help us, won't you? You already helped us once. The Voivode's life is at stake. They want to kill him.
What? Who wants to kill him?
Jagalokos. Someone put a curse on my Voivode. At night, it takes sleep away from him. Eats away the skin on his hands. Even the horses are spooked when the Voivode so much as walks by.
A curse? That sounds more like a job for you. All I can do is pull teeth.
I can't help him. But you can, Devleskero Manush. And I'll tell you how. You know what sooth water is.
Some kind of healing potion?
Almost. A ward to protect against magic. Take 3 lumps of coal, 3 breadcrumbs, and 3 pinches of salt and put them in water. Such water will lift even the worst of curses from those who wash in it.
So you know what to do. Fine. Then pour the water on a dung heap, and the curse is gone.
Why would I get rid of it when I can use it?
What good is such cursed water?
It's good for you, Miromanush. You'll forge Karo, a saber for the Voivod. Make it tough, sharp, and dangerous like him. And then you'll quench the saber in the cursed water.
I think I could do that.
The curse in the saber must then gain strength to protect the Voivod, and only harm those who wish him ill. It must taste blood before the Voivod takes the saber in his hand. But it all depends on whose blood it is.
I reckon human blood would be best against human magic, right?
Devlale, have you gone mad? If anyone found out, they would drive us out, or worse. We already have more enemies here than there are stray dogs around.
Well, so how about dog's blood?
Rikon. You can kill one. There were some running around down below the camp. Dirty, foul beasts. No one will miss them.
I don't know. I still don't like it.
How do you mean? What don't you like? Did you want the job? You did, and we'll pay you well. You have my word.
I can forge a saber, aye. But why should I be the one to kill something with it? The Voivod can do that himself.
He can't. The curse was meant for him. The Voivod must not touch the saber until the curse is sealed within it by the blood. You have to give it a drink of blood yourself. And it can't be just any blood.
All right, then.
Mistores, good choice. I will reward you well. But first forge the saber, and do your best, so it serves the Voivod long and well. And here's your sewed water. Be sure not to splash it on yourself. Vikas, palsoste jalgajo.
Do you have any work for a blacksmith, perchance?
You bet I do. Things are not good. They're very bad. You will help us, won't you? The
What?
Jagalokos. Someone at night. I can't help, and I...
Some...
Almost. Take such what...
So you know...
Why would I...
What good?
It's good for... And then...
I think...
The curse, it must... But it all...
What about my blood?
You would kill yourself?
Don't worry.
You mean well, Miromanush. But it does... We can't...
All right. You don't...
Devlale, no!
I could cut off the head of a chicken.
A chicken doesn't have much blood in it. There were... How do you...
All right, then.
Mistores, but first forge this... And here's your...
Show your stuff! Enough! I give up! Are you yanking my whistle? Oh! Attack! Gah!
Oh, so this is the water goblin's hut.
Look what I have for you.
Here, mutt! Here, mutt!
Hey, unless you want to end up the city, I'll get you! Did you see that coming? We're going to gut you, you son! Ha ha! You never saw that coming! You want to try? No, I'll shoot you dead! You haven't a chance! Show what you're made of! You slow! You're in for an arse kicking, you piece of shit! He's dead! You're mine! Not tough enough on your own! Get him from the left! Fuck you! No chance!
someone who can deal with it. Maybe I should bring someone in to deal with it. Fucker must be here somewhere.
So that's what attracted the wolves. The wolves must have dug them up. That much is obvious. But who buried them, not so much. A flying fish. That's von Bergov's coat of arms. So it must have been his men.
rather kind, master, eh?
I'm trying to track down a poacher who's hunting around here.
That's an important mission. But sorry, I don't know nothing about it.
I want to ask you something anyway.
Better me than the neighbours anyway. Especially Pavlik's old woman. Have you talked to her?
No, I haven't spoken to her. Why?
That's good. For sure she and her old man would tell you I'm the poacher.
They would? Why?
Those Pavliks ain't very nice folk. Old Pavlik ain't too bad, but that wife of his... I don't know why, but all of a sudden she thinks I'm the root of all evil.
I see. I imagine it's not easy living next to them. Still, I'd like to ask you a few questions anyway. Maybe you know something that could help.
As you like.
How's trade?
It's going well. There's demand.
Who do you sell most to?
Depends. I take everything to Troskovitz and there I see what's what. But the better hides go for fancy shoes and clothes. Things for the gentry and that.
Where'd you get the hides? From some suspicious fellas in the forest?
No, I ain't like that. I have an agreement with the huntsmen and their hands, who bring me what they hunt. But it's not that often. They don't bring much. And not the best stuff neither. More often they bring me hides from the village. They butcher animals and skin them and everything is processed. I do the hides.
So you're a tanner? Only a fool would think you wouldn't find hides at your place.
Indeed. Trade's good. So I've got a lot of various quality and origin. I don't bother with envious folks.
Why did the Pavliks hate you so much?
I don't know. But if Prague was to go up in flames, the Pavliks would run straight to the bailiff and swear it was me what did it.
Did you have some falling out with them?
Nothing I know of. We never talked much. I'm not the kind of fella that's at the centre of things. I like my peace and quiet.
Well, still seems odd to me, though.
You're telling me. At least you don't have to live next to them.
Have you seen any tracks left by the poacher?
I haven't. I wouldn't even know what to look for.
You know, animal carcasses, guts, a camp in the woods.
Ah, I see. No, I ain't seen nothing. I don't go walking in the woods much. At most, I go to Troskovitz for hides. Or to the village here to the north.
I don't know of any village that way. What's it called?
It's pretty far. I call it Upper, on account of it being uphill.
Have you any idea where the poacher might be hiding out?
God knows. It's all deep forest, so he could be anywhere. Maybe somewhere close to the game he poaches.
Yeah, that's good thinking. Do you know of any place like that?
Well, not far from here there's a clearing in the hills where we used to go to watch deer. But I don't know if any stags goes there anymore.
I didn't know that. If I can't think of anything better, I'll go and take a look.
But don't get your hopes up.
Thanks. That's all.
You're the kind master, eh, Mutt?
Vostatek charged me with rooting out the poacher causing trouble round here. Have you seen or heard anything suspicious?
You bet I have. The tanner's the poacher.
I've already talked to the tanner. He had a feeling you'd accuse him.
Too bloody right.
Poaching's a serious accusation. Are you sure he's the poacher?
I'm sure. He earns much too much coin for an ordinary tanner.
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean he's poaching, though.
He's rolling in it. He can't have that from honest work. Why else would he head off into the forest every other week, eh? If it ain't him, it's someone in league with him. Someone who lives in Witch's Copse.
Witch's Copse?
There's a path behind our outhouse. If you go along it for a while, you'll come to a cross in the forest. And north of that, there's this big clearing. And Witch's Copse is beyond that. Folk are afraid to go there. It's guarded by old pagan idols.
Interesting. Have you got any proof that the tanner is poaching?
Did you see all them hides?
The tanner's a tanner. So he has hides. What of it?
Exactly. You saw he ain't afraid of putting them on show. Even buckskin. He knows if he puts them on show, nobody'll question it. He wouldn't be so suspicious. But you know what I'd like to know? What's he got hidden in his workshop, eh? Apart from hides.
Have you ever seen the tanner poaching with your own two eyes?
I haven't actually seen him, but I'm quite sure it's him. I just know it. I'll gladly confirm it, even to a judge.
I'm afraid that won't be enough when there's no material proof. Where does your hatred for the tanner come from?
I beg your pardon? You come here asking questions, and you're impertinent to boot.
Sorry, I didn't mean it to sound bad.
Is there an 11th commandment? That I have to love every vagabond who moves in next door? I couldn't give a damn about him, if you want to know. He lives like a king, and he never done us any good. And he's always making nasty faces at me, like, ha-ha, look at you, you beggar.
I understand. He's a bastard.
Aye.
So the tanner does well out of his trade?
Does well. He's on the pig's back, and no one ever made that kind of coin out of tanning hides. It'd be a miracle if he wasn't guilty.
Or maybe he's just very skilled.
Skilled my arse, you numbskull. He's a puffed-up idiot, a botcher, and a bastard.
That'll be all. Thanks.
Be sure and check him out. And don't forget he's a crook.
I'll bear that in mind. Thanks for the advice and all the information.
You're quite welcome. Justice must be done. Farewell.
Here, mutt! Aye, come here. Here's another camp, and I bet...
Are you lost?
Nice camp. All these hides and gutted deer.
There? Fucking hell!
Gamekeeper Vostatek has been looking for you.
What does he want? The garlic I harvest here?
He wants us to go and see the Troskovitz bailiff together.
I ain't going. I'd rather croak out here in the forest. So keep your distance.
You don't seem to understand who you're talking to. I didn't come here to talk shit about garlic. You're gonna listen, and listen well. Because if you haven't twigged yet, I've got the upper hand here. Understand?
Fuck it. All right.
We're going to see the bailiff.
All right.
Vostatek told you I might be bringing you some poachers. So here's one for you. He chose the forest round Vidlak Pond.
No, please!
It's too late for begging. You're for the noose. Scum.
I came because of the arguments between Takov and Zhelyov.
Kurva, what happened this time? Did old Bram piss in Project's ale barrels again like last year?
No, but they're getting... Ready to meet up and beat each other up.
Let them do it then! Maybe a few knocks to the skull will do them good, and they'll leave me alone.
How did the arguments between the Takovites and Zhelyevites start, anyway?
What do I know? I was a young lad back then, but it's all because of that bloody pasture. Both villages claim that it belongs to them, but nobody has any evidence. So they split it in half, but neither side is particularly happy about it.
Shouldn't you find out who the damn pasture belongs to, then, Bailiff?
Why should I? Let them eat each other, for all I care. In the worst case, I'll put them all in the stocks. That should sort them out.
I'm sure you have enough worries as is. And the Takovites and Zhelyevites are just wasting your time. Wouldn't it be worth it to sort it out?
That it would. Bandits are running wild. My daughter is leaving the house. I don't have time for those morons right now. How the fuck am I supposed to find out who the pasture belongs to? I looked in the Chronicle. Things like that tend to be there. But Bailiff Brada, who was here before me, must have been a lunatic. You'd have to be mad to make any sense of that book.
Then let me have a look. I may not be mad, but maybe I'll find something you overlooked. You won't have to worry about anything.
You want to touch such a rare book with those filthy peasant hands? Have you lost your mind?
Filthy peasant hands? Do you know how many books I've read? And I never fold corners. If there's anything actually useful in the Chronicle, I'll find it.
Fine, have it your way. Maybe you'll manage to make some sense of Brada's bullshit. But if I find out you've even opened that book too harshly, you'll have me to answer to.
What's new in the county, Master Bailiff?
I was just visited by one of the local peasants. He said he found more fresh graves behind his field, just below the village, along the road to Nabokov.
I've seen those. You talk like this isn't the first time.
That we found someone buried here? Don't even ask. I've been digging up bodies ever since that bandit gang started running rampant. Most of them are von Burgo's men. And that's about it.
That sounds interesting. Thank you.
Greetings.
You silly doggies.
Jesus Christ be praised. He has no business popping out when I have work.
Grüß Gott, was brauchst du?
I'll have a look at the wares. Let's talk about the price.
Was soll's? Warum nicht? Sehr gut. I can agree to that. Found what you were looking for, sir. Bloated again. Was wünschst du, mein Herr?
Show me your wares. Let's talk about the price.
Das könnte vielleicht gehen. Ja, das ist gut. Finally a good price. Viel Glück für die Zukunft, mein Herr. Was möchtest du, mein Herr?
I'll have a look at the wares.
Wie schade, mein Herr.
Good to see you. God be with you. How's the watch going?
Not bad. So far.
God grant you health.
This Latin phrase looks important. Otherwise it wouldn't be written in red, would it? Fecit ordinem in region ope Clavifere? I should try to find somebody who could translate it for me.
Greetings.
Good day.
I'm always glad to see polite people. Careful.
You silly doggy.
Good day to you. What brings you here?
I need to translate something from Latin. You're an educated man, aren't you? Would you help me?
Why not? It's nice to see simple folk wanting to get educated. What is it you need translated?
Maybe I should read it again first. I'll stop by another time.
As you wish. Till we meet again.
I need to translate something from Latin. You're an educated man, aren't you? Would you help me?
What is it you need to translate?
Fecit ordinem in regione ope clavi fere.
That's definitely Latin, but what could it mean? In regione is obvious. That's in the country or region. Fecit ordinem is something like to bring order. And clave fere means iron spike or maybe nail. So, brought order to the region with the help of an iron nail. Where did you hear that nonsense?
That's not important. The main thing is I know what it means, and hopefully it'll help me in my work. Thank you.
Excuse me.
Good doggy. Good boy.